Yes, good evening, students. Yesterday we were going to know about the hack driver chapter, and today again the remaining part will be explained here. I hope that you all may be about having lunch. He offered to buy lunch for both of them from the restaurant. Bill replied that there were only four restaurants. How many restaurants? Four restaurants, and none of them were good. He also explained that, and none of them were good. Right? He said that he would get food from his wife. Bill also suggested that clerk to buy a food parcel from his wife, and as he had to pay only half a dollar, which was far less than the price of the restaurant, meal was only oily and no tasty. He also had their lunch. So that topic was going on, and today you know that we are going to explain about the content. I know that the Bill's helpfulness to the young fellow from the city was not entirely a matter of brotherly love. I was paying him for his time. Means the narrator is going to explain that the fellow who was with me means the fellow means receiving the money from the narrator. I paid him. Narrator tells that I paid him 6 hours, including a lunch hour. Including the lunch hour at what was then a very high price. But he was no more dishonest than I. I changed the whole thing to the farm. But it would have been worth paying him myself to have this presence. His cheerful country wisdom was very refreshing to a country boy like me who was sick of the city. Means the narrator was continuously living in the city. He got the chance to go in that village, so because of that he was feeling good there. As we sat on the hilltop, looking over the pastures, the creek which slipped among the trees. You know that pastures word means the grassland. Creek means a stream, means a small river which is being explained here. He talked to Numulins and painted the picture words. Right? He painted the picture words here. And next narrator noticed everything but matter not how much he might laugh at people. He also understood the forgave their foolishness. He described the minister's wife who sang the loudest in church when she was most in debit. Hack driver commented on the boys who came back from the college in fancy clothes. He told about the lawyer whose wife could never succeed in getting him to put on both a collar and the city and to love it better. Dear students, what is being explained in this content? Narrator says that he knew the bill was not helping him. Means in this content, narrator is going to explain that the bill was not helping to him because of his helping natures, but because he was earning money from the narrator. Because of that, he was with the narrator. He was getting the paid for 6 hours he spent with the clerk, and he spent with the clerk even the lunch hours during which they were sitting idles on a hilltop. He was comfortable with his because his law firm would bear all his expenses. It means all the expenses whatever the narrator was doing such that will be paid by the law firm. Because of that he was feeling comfortable there. So he felt it to be the dishonesty on his own part. Anyway, he was happy to get the company of such a cheerful persons like the Bill. Means Bill was a cheerful person. By the way, he was earning money through the help of the narrator, but he has the nature to be, he has the nature just like to be a person who can feel good with us. While they were sitting on the hilltop, they saw the beautiful grassland and the streams flowing through them. For the clerk, they were very beautiful, as he was also a village and did not like the city life much. Means the narrator was also feeling very happy because he was passing his long time in the city, but suddenly he got the chance to visit in hill areas. Because of that, he was feeling good there. Bill told him everything about the new millennium. He explained everything and everyone in such a way that he felt like everything had happened in front of his own eyes. So Bill told him about the minister's wife who would sing so loudly in the church whenever she was under the debit. Debit means a liability to pay off your credit or loans. Whenever she had to pay the loan or credit to others at the time, she used to pray, means she used to, what did she, church, she was under debit, she used to sing loudly in the church. This means that she prayed to God for her problems. It means that she prayed to God for her problems. Then there were some college boys who would dress in such a fancy way, and the lawyer's wife who always failed in her attempt to make her husband wear both the collar and the tie on the same day. So dear students, the narrator says that the Bill's knowledge of his village fellows was so good that it made him love the small town of New Mullen. He says that now he knew almost everything about the place, whereas he was not much aware of the city was living in, right? About the city was living in. Bill didn't know about college and cities. Bill didn't know about the college and the cities, but he had traveled around a lot of country and had a lot of job. Means the person who had done lots of job and had taken the long experiences of life, you can see that you can get something from that person. Those who don't have good experiences in life and those who don't have faced the critical situations of life, they can't give you the right track of life. So those people who have faced the lots of problem in life, these people can give you the right experiences of life. He had bought a bag, he had a lot of from his adventures. He had bought a bag, a philosophy of simplicity and the laughter. Means because of that long experiences, he has the philosophy and the long way of laughing. He is strengthened me, means he was just creating the strength in me also. We left the peaceful scene and of meadows and the woods and resumed our search of Oliver Lutkins. We could not find him. At last Bill concerned a friend of Lutkins and made him admit what he guessed. Oliver gone out to his mother's farm 3 miles north. We drove out there laying planes. Adventure word has come here. Adventure means exploit, and philosophy word means ideology, beliefs. What are our beliefs? That is being called the philosophy. Meadows means a field, grasslands. Resumed word has come here. Resumed means that restart. Cornered word has come here. It means the forced into a place or situation. Dear student, the Bill knew nothing about college and cities, may be because he never got the chance to visit. These places. But he knew everything about the village. And small towns. And he had done different types of jobs at these places. Dear student, he got his ideology of the simplicity and cheerful nature as a gift by exploiting these places. He tried to build faith in narrators that they would catch Lutkins, surely catch the Lutkins. Both of them left the beautiful field and they restarted their search mission. You know that what is being done by search mission means he was continuously visiting with the narrator and he was earning money because of that he was just going to follow the narrator. I know Oliver's mother, she is a terror, Bill sighed. I took a truck out there for her once and she almost took my skins off because I didn't treat it like a box of eggs. She is about 9 feet tall. Means here we can create the picture of the Lutkin's mother. She was the 9 feet tall, and 4 feet thick, 4 feet thick, and quick as a cat, quick as a cat, and she sure can talk. I will be Oliver heard that somebody's chasing him and he goes. He is gone on there to hide behind the mother's skirts well. Try her. By you would better let me do it, boy. You may be great at literature and law, but you haven't had real meaning of swearing. Bill told him that he knew Oliver's mother because once it took this delivery of a truck to her. Means here the now it's the chance of Bill to explain about the Lutkin's mother. What does he explain? That he tells that once what happened that I went to Oliver's mother's house because I was there to deliver a truck for her. She treated him very badly as she was angry for not taking proper care of her truck. He described her physical appearance as she was 9 feet tall. How many feet? 9 feet tall, right? And 4 feet thick, 4 feet thick, and compared a quickness to that of a cat. She has been compared. It is one of the important point in this chapter which you need to bear in mind, that what is the appearance of Lutkin's mother. Further, he added that the Lutkins must have come to know that they were searching for him. That is why he had run to his mother's place in order to hide himself. He also suggested that narrator should let him deal with the mother, as he doubted that the clerk would not be able to extract the truth from the lady's mouth. Means the clerk means the narrator was thinking in his mind that she will not be able to tell the truth about her son. We drove into a poor farmyard. We were faced by enormous, cheerful old woman. My guide bravely went up to her and said, "Remember me, I am Bill Megginson, the carter and the hackman. I wanted to find your son Oliver. I don't know anything about Oliver and I don't want to see shouting." Enormous means the huge. Enormous word is here, which means the huge. When they reached the farmland, they found a heavily built, cheerful old lady. Bill went up to her with guts and introduced himself by saying that he was Bill, and also told her that he was searching for her son Oliver Lutkins. To this the lady replied by shouting. What was she speaking? That she knew nothing about him. She told that she knew nothing about him. Now look here. We have had just about enough nonsense. This young man represents the court in the city, and we have a legal right to search all the properties for the Oliver Lutkins. Bill made me sound very important that the woman was impressed. She retired into the kitchen and we allowed she seized an iron from the old fashioned stove and the masked on us shouting, that lady is coming to beat to them. If you don't, you search all you want. If you don't mind getting pressed first, she shouted and laughed at our frightened retreat. Means writer is saying that when we came back and that time she was laughing. Represents that be appointed to act on behalf of speak or someone. Retired word means here went inside. Seized means grabbed. Snatched. Frightened means afraid or anxious. Bill got a bit strict with the lady and said that they had been through the appointed by city code. He also said that they had got the legal right to search her house to find the Oliver Lutkins. Narrator is saying that means we have the legal rights to search the Oliver Lutkins house. But in villages, what happens that when you are going in that way, so then you can be captured by the people and you can be beaten. The clerk was happy as he was getting the due importance from the bill, and even the lady seemed impressed by him. She went into the kitchen and both of them followed her. To their shock, she took out a hot iron from stove and threatened them to burn. She laughed when they stepped back due to fear. Let's get out of here. She will murder us. Bill whispered outside. He said, "Did you see her smile? She was laughing at us. I agreed that it was pretty disrespectful treatment. We did, however, search the house. Since it was only one story high, Bill went around it, peering it in all the windows. We examined the barn and stable. We were reasonably certain that the Lutkins was not there. It was nearly time for me to catch the afternoon train, and Bill drove me to the station." Dear students, what is being explained through this content that the reaction of the lady was so horrible. Means in this content is being explained that the reaction of the lady was horrible. The Bill murmured to the clerk to leave the place. He agreed that the behavior of the woman was very rude. He agreed that yet they managed to search a whole house, including the outhouse and the stables. As in this way, on the way to the city, I worried very little over my failure to find the Lutkins. I was too busy thinking about the bill, and really I considered returning to the New Mullins to practice law. Means now the narrator of the story is really very interested to come to the Mullin for doing the law practice. If I had found a bill so deep and the rich human, might I not grow to love Fitz and Gustav and 100 other slow-spoken, simple, wise neighbors? I pictured an honest and happy life beyond the strict limits of the universities and law firms. I was excited. I had found a treasure. I had discovered a new life. Means narrator was feeling very, very happy and feeling that he has reached in the right place, and he wanted to come there and wanted to continue his work. He imagined a life which was honest, simple, and the joyous was experienced by him in the boundaries of his university and law firm. He was so happy that he felt as if he had got some kind of treasures and had found a new way of life. But if I didn't think much about Lutkins, the office did. I found them all upset. Next morning, the case was coming up in the court, and they had to have Lutkins. I was a shameful, unless fool. The morning my promising legal career almost came to an end before it had begun. That is being the explanation of the lesson. The chief almost means what was he feeling at last, that the chief almost murdered me. He hinted that I might do well under digging the details. I was ordered back to New Mullen, and with me went a man who had worked with Lutkins. I was rather sorry because it would prevent my loafing all over again with Bill. Next, when the train arrived at New Mullen, Bill was on the station platform near his cart. Dear student, the whole story is being explained in this way, and a narrator, at last what happens, that at last the thing that pinched the narrator a lot was that both the mother and the son were laughing at him when he served the Lutkins with the summons. Not only this, they requested him to join them for the coffee at the neighbor's house, because they were the only people left in the village who had not seen him yesterday when he was searching for Lutkins, or the Lutkin was riding with him in the hack. So in this way the whole story is being completed, and if something is remaining, we will discuss later through the questions and answer of this lesson. I hope that you all might have learned something through this, and please watch this video deeply and learn something whatever I have explained.